So it's Brittany and Vicky from Campervan Capers, and we are off and about again on another jaunt. It's a little bit different this time though, because we are in the new van. It's all a bit exciting. We were going to stick to the UK for our first little trip just to check it out, but we thought, do you know what? Bananas to it. We'll go to France. So we are back in France and we are rolling around in Brittany and we're having a wonderful time. We've been in the van for about a week so far, so we've given a little bit of a run and she's been brilliant, hasn't she, Bernie? We've really enjoyed her so far. She's been great. And when we get onto the next campsite, I'll get the camera out and I'll give you a good little tour. But in the meantime, we're just having a wonderful time driving through Brittany in our brand new van. Come on! So excited! So here we are back in sunny, gorgeous Brittany, and it's time to introduce the new van. This way. And there it is. Bit of a wrench giving up Ruby, really. We loved her, but she was a victim of her own success. In the 2 years we had her, we travelled about 225,000 miles in her, and we did about 250 plus nights away. And we loved it so much we actually realised that we wanted to travel more, stretch out the season a little bit longer. So we decided to upgrade and to get a bigger van, and this is the van that we went for. It's an AUTOTRAIL, it's a FIAT Ducato. It's 5.99 metres long and it's a high top, as you can see. Comes with an awning, awning's out because the sun is out, trying to keep the van cool. I'll give you a quick look round the van. Outside, it's got a sliding door. There we go. Got big windows, all open. And then on this side you've got your water and this little amazing little thing, autogas, gas it. Because underneath the van there is a gas tank, which means you don't have the cylinders, you have an underslung gas tank. And that means that you've got gas on the move, which is pretty cool, because that will then run the internal fridge and also the cooker. Round the back, double doors round the back, again windows. Round this side, electric. You've got trauma heating, you've got a wastewater tank and a freshwater tank. Underslung underneath the van, not internal. And you've also got the portaloo from the bathroom. You open from the outside and take the cassette out this way. So all outside the van. And you've got vents for the fridge. That's pretty much the outside of the van. Lovely. Okay, so to get into the van, very nicely have a very posh electric step. You also got a little entrance light to the step as well if you need it, but we use that as an ambient light for the evening. It's quite cool. And as you come in, now we're just going to sit in a little chair here and just have a little chat. So why the change from Ruby, you might be asking? Biggest reason for us is space, living space, to be honest. Ruby was a fantastic van and she took us to some fabulous places and we loved every minute in her, but the big thing with Ruby was internal space. Spending any long or prolonged amount of time in Ruby, especially in inclement weather, things like that where things get wet, became quite uncomfortable even after a day or two, and so we decided we probably wanted to spend more time away in the van, which probably meant more time away in not so great weather. And that's why we decided to go for a bigger model and to have a little bit more comfort and a little bit more space for both me and for Bernard, and to be able to travel around with a little bit more luxury, really. And so we went for this van, and I'll let you have a look around the van and I'll tell you exactly why we picked it. So this is the inside of our new van. It's pretty awesome. And the reason why we went for this one is basically internal space and size, and a couple of extras like the loo and the oven, but I'll go into that later. The biggest thing for us was living space, and this was basically the best van we saw for comfortable living space. And this for us was the main reason for buying this van. Is it's huge and it's mega comfy. It's got 2 massive settees. The settees are over 6 foot each, so you can use them as single beds, but when you pull them together, when you pull them together, they make a humongous, massive 6'2" by 6'1" double bed, which for the first time in 20 years of caravan and camping, Bernie actually fits in. That was one of the reasons why we chose this van over some of the vans that were like the Asia twin vans that have the cross beds. The cross beds just weren't long enough and Bernie's feet were hitting the wall, so this layout and setup works wonderful for us, and we found it exceedingly comfortable. And the other really huge thing for us in this new van was the kitchen area. Bernie loves to cook, and the way that we keep our travel budget down is by cooking a lot, by not eating out, making most of our own meals. And this lovely fantastic van has a full-size cooker. It's got a full, sorry, that's just my washing up bowl in there, keeping it out of the way. It's got a full-sized oven, it's got a glass hob, it's got a 3-burner grill, perfect. It's also got a huge sink. I mean, it's an absolutely usable sink. I've even washed up a big massive casserole dish in here, so unlike the little tiny sink in the Volkswagen, this is a proper washing up sink, so that's brilliant. Nice tap. Just got these little covers just to keep the tops from getting scratched, and they're also absorbent, so if you spill anything on them it just sucks it up, which is great. Drawers, massive storage drawers, get a load of stuff in these. It really is, compared to Ruby, it's a bit luxurious in terms of how much space you've actually got. You've also got big cupboards underneath. We've currently got storage boxes under there, but we're going to sort out some proper built-in storage boxes under there at some point. You've got plug sockets, you've got, I love this. This is an extra workspace. Bernie can very easily stand here and cook on all this space here. And he's got space to stand as well. The standing area in the middle is nice and roomy. And we have a microwave, which we will never probably use. So we, for all intents and purposes, we may very well take this out and change this into a actual, it's a really big sized box. So actually change it into another storage cupboard, I think. I think that's the plan for that at some point. But at the minute, I've got my plates in it. My plates and my bowls. Plates and my bowls in it. And then more storage. You've got these overhead lockers, which are really quite deep. They're not as deep as you think because they are angled at the back, but they hold a fair amount of stuff. And we are so used to travelling so lightly in Ruby that our stuff fits in this van just fine, with a little bit of extras. Clothes cupboards. That makes a big difference, and we are so used to having our clothes stuffed into a little bag and having to rummage around for them, and it's just such a luxury to actually just be able to open a cupboard and your clothes are all in there. It's beautiful. We've even got the luxury of a games cupboard with books. Oh my gosh. Also in this cupboard is the you can see up there, you've got like a little aerial switch and an aerial booster. There is an aerial on the ceiling that's included, because as you can see it's all hooked up for a TV. This is our TV, our 20-inch TV, but the van did actually come with an 18-inch one, so we've got a spare, so there you go. And then coming back down to the front of the van, you have a huge fridge. This fridge is massive and it holds a ton. And it also has a really good freezer, good enough to freeze ice creams, so that's good enough for me. The fridge is what they call a 3-way fridge, so you can either run it on electric, which is what we're on now, you can run it on gas, or you could run it on 12 volt off the battery of the van. When you're driving, You run it off the battery and then you change it back when you're plugged in. But it is a three-way and you can run it on gas. So if we're ever off grid, so not plugged in to an electricity supply, we can run the fridge. You've got a big massive wardrobe cupboard here. It's huge. That's our hanging bags for our bread and things, and a couple of boxes to keep things in. What we will do is we will divide this into probably 3 shelves. We don't need a hanging cupboard here, and we don't need hanging cupboards for our clothes, so we'll probably divide that into shelves, and it'll probably make much more effective use of the space in that big cupboard. And the other massive bonus for this van is, and this is my biggie, the one that I struggled with the most in Ruby, is it's got a loo. So sheer luxury. It's got a bathroom, and the bathroom, get a great look of it from here, but there you go. Bathroom with the loo is actually surprisingly big. I can stand up in here. There you go. There's a bathtub, and it's so dark once you come in and close the door. There you go. There you go. I can turn around in here, no problem. But then I am only little. Bernie would struggle to have a shower in here, but I could manage. At the minute, we've actually kept the shower off here and taken the shower attachment off, even though it hangs on there, purely because we knew we wouldn't use it for this trip, because we knew we would be plugging in at the campsites, because this is a holiday. We're not trying to do it cheap, it's budgeted it in, so we can use the facilities on site, so we don't really need the shower in for this trip, but it's definitely there, and we can put it back in if we feel that we're going to need it for other trips in the future. Open your cupboards, another luxury. I can actually bring lots and lots of stuff, just extra stuff that we would have never got in Ruby, really. That's really nice. And then it's got a drop-down sink, which I'll be honest, we haven't really used. We kind of tend to use the sink outside in the front there, but hey ho. But it's there if you need it, and Bernie can come in here and have a shave because it's got a mirror and it's got water. So there we are. And the loo. I'll not give you a flush in the loo, but there you go. It's an electric flush Thetford loo. Sorted. Beautiful. Luxury for me, that. A few more technically bits. It's got 1240 volt plug sockets. Doesn't have any USB sockets, so Bernie's going to put a couple in, but we've got one of these plugs that you can put in. It's got a couple of USBs, which is fine. That works for us at the moment. This is just a little fold down, fold away table that we use as an occasional night table. It also does have the big table that you can put in here, that's kept behind Bernie's chair, just here, and the legs in there. Not anymore, it's now in the bathroom. Quick change. You just stick that in the middle of the floor, and then you've got a proper big massive eating table, which I must admit we have loved in this van, especially when it's a bit cold on a couple of nights and you didn't want to be eating outside and it's getting later in the season. It's nice to come in and be able to eat inside. It's got 2 massive high key roof lights that you can open up. One there, one there. That one's quite handy when you're cooking because it lets all the smells out. It's got a place to keep, we keep all the pillows and our coats up there. Now the biggest thing, one of the things that we worried about was bed linen, because there is huge storage under here. Oh, under there, you can't really see it. There we go, kind of in there. You've got lots of storage, but we pretty much filled that with the outside kit that we've got. So chairs, tables, that kind of thing, and a couple of extra boxes of storage for food. That filled up quite quickly, and we were kind of worried a little bit about where we'd keep the bed linen, but actually it turned out just fine, because what we do is when we're travelling we keep it in there in a duvet storage bag, and then when we pull up and park up we pop it out and pop it already on this chair here. And because there is so much sitting space here and at the back, we don't need this chair at all. We don't use it at all for anything else, so putting the bed linen on there works just fine. lovely blinds included with this van. They're the Remo blinds. They completely cover the front and the two sides, and every window, every set of windows has a full blackout blind, but also a fly screen blind. And you can have them both half and half, you can have them fully each, you can click them together and move them about. They're quite nifty things actually. And that goes for the same for the high key rooms. They've got the same things, they've got the blinds and the fly screens. Just a few more technical bits really, some like added nice extras. So this is the Truma heating system. Don't ask me how it works, Bernard does all that. But basically we do have heating in this van, woohoo! Which means that we will be able to go out when it's cold, hopefully, in the wintry months, and get a little bit more use out of this van than maybe we did out of Ruby. So Truma heating, it is gas or electric or a combination of both. We've had a couple of coolish nights since we've been here actually, and it worked lovely. It's thermostat, so you set the temperature to what you want it to be, and if it gets below that it turns on and it keeps you warm. We were worried that it might be a little bit loud because it's under the bed, but actually it's really quite quiet, so I'm really quite pleased. It's not disturbed, it doesn't disturb me at all, which is great. And then you've got this really wonderful thing up here, which is all your leisure stuff. I don't know whether you can see that on camera. It's a bit dark, but it shows you your leisure batteries, charging, your water, and that kind of thing. Fresh water, waste we've just emptied, so that kind of stuff. That's your pump for your water. These are lights, that's for the awning light outside underneath the awning. Internal lights, I must say, the internal lights in this van are pretty awesome. You've got these fantastic strip lights that are actually quite bright. You can see that on there. Then you've got these little lights, they're in every corner and movable, which are really quite nice. And then you've got this light up here, another strip light, and you've got spotlights up there, and you've got little spotlights down there on the floor. So ambient light in this van on a night time is lovely. Best turn those lights off, otherwise Bernie would be shouting at me for running his battery down. Actually that's not true because we're plugged in on electric, but there you go. The van also comes with a solar panel on the roof, and we've been watching how that fills the batteries, and it actually fills them quite well. We're quite surprised how well it works actually. And obviously the two back doors open up, and I'll take you around the back and you can have a bit of a look around here. This is the back of the van with the two big huge doors that open. There we go. So you can let some air in. Also you can see down here, this is the space you've got underneath the bed. Can't see it wonderfully well because it's a bit dark in there, but it's actually quite a huge space, but we have filled it quite easily, I must say. And then this side is the side. There is a little bit of storage space on this side, but not a lot. That's the side with the batteries and the Truma heating. So we've been travelling around in the van for about a week and a half, and so far so good. We've had no issues with the van at all. Everything that should work has worked. Works actually better than we expected. The solar panel, its output, we've been really surprised by. We didn't expect it to be as good as that. It's been super comfortable. It's also been really roomy and livable when the weather's not been at its best. We've had a couple of days where it's been quite rainy and a bit drizzly, and we spent most of the day in the van, including cooking in the van, eating in the van, and it's been great. It's felt actually quite comfortable and quite homely, which is one of the reasons why we upgraded from Ruby, really. And in that aspect it's worked really well. And the loo's a big bonus. You don't have to traipse out in the rain. I must say, I do enjoy my loo. Bit of a luxury, I know, but definitely worth it. So yeah, so the upgrade was a good move, good for us, and hopefully we'll be able to use this van a little bit more throughout the season, and you'll be able to come along and we'll be going on lots and lots of wonderful adventures in it. But in the meantime, we'll be hanging out in the van. We'll be hanging out in the van, and hopefully you'll come and hang out with us and get ready for some new fantastic adventures. See you then.